Out here on the back deck enjoying a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Yeah, it is the afternoon, I guess. Looking a little scraggly because, it's the weekend. I don't shave or make myself look good on the weekend. My hair is ridiculously long because my hairstylist had a baby a couple of months ago, and I'm not enough of a grown man to try and figure out something in the meantime. But enough about me. Here's how you can pick your best cruise cabin.
I'm Tom, she's Daniela. We're kind of empty nesters now, and we love cruising. So together we figure we're gonna get in as many as we can while we can. And we're getting there.
Okay, and I got a haircut. I sent a picture of myself to my hairstylist and she went, we gotta fix that. God bless you, Callie. Thank you very much. So I went over to her place and she cut my hair. So anyway, when it comes to picking the cruise ship cabin that I want to be in, I have a very specific process. I use 3 websites and I do just a little bit of research. I'll show you what I do, why I do these things, and hopefully that helps you pick your cruise ship for your first or follow-up cruise. I just hope it helps. And just a disclaimer, obviously what I do works for me. Doesn't mean it's definitely gonna work for you, but I'll show you what I do and hope it helps. So first, let's just dive into the websites.
I generally use 3 websites to help me out. The cruise company website, cruisedeckplans.com, and then Google to find outside images of the ship I'm going to be going on. Let's pick a simple, straightforward cruise with Royal Caribbean. The cruise doesn't really matter so much as we're just interested in picking the right cabin. So we're going to pick a cruise I do often, a simple 7-night cruise out of Cape Liberty, New Jersey. So here's one in my birthday month, November of next year, on board Odyssey of the Seas. That one will work perfectly. Okay, so you can see there are 4 types of cruise ship cabins in general. There's interior, the most affordable, but no balcony or window. Ocean view, which just has a window to outside. Balcony, where you're on the outside of the ship, usually, with a balcony. And suites, which are the most expensive, biggest, and wide-ranging options on the ship. We're going to go with the most popular, the ocean-facing balcony. But the same tips are going to apply for whatever room you choose. So here you're going to see the option of We Pick Your Balcony. We're clearly going to avoid that one, as the whole point of this video is to pick your own best location. Also, a warning, if you let the cruise company pick your room, yes, you save some money, but that means they will not assign you a room until you get much closer to cruising after all the good cabins have been picked by other people. You might get lucky and still get a good one, but your odds of getting a not-so-great cabin are increased when you let them pick the room for you. Okay? Now, the most important part to picking your balcony room is easily location. There are so many things that affect your room that have everything to do with location. If you're prone to motion sickness or don't know and just want to minimize the chance of it being a problem, then you're going to want to be in the lower decks closer to the middle. That's where the movement of the ship is the least. For me, that's not usually an issue, so I focused on the next issue that can really affect your cruise: noise. For that reason alone, you must look at the deck plans and see what's entirely around your room. What you want is to see just rooms all around your room. Across the hall, above, and below you. You want rooms. That's the key. So if you're worried about motion sickness, you want to look for low, in the middle, and have rooms all around you. If you're not worried about motion sickness, it opens a bit more, where you just need to find rooms all around you no matter where you are on the ship. Now here's where Royal Caribbean will load your options, so we're going to load up the other pages. First, we're going to go to cruisedeckplans.com. You're going to hit Main Website. Select Royal Caribbean International. It's going to load up all the ships. So you just click on Odyssey of the Seas, or whatever your ship is. Next, we will go to another tab and do a search for Odyssey of the Seas high-resolution images. And you find a good picture of the side of the ship where you can see all of the balconies, basically all the rooms, a big wide picture of the ship. Okay, now that those are all loaded up and ready for us to use, we're going to go back to the Royal Caribbean page. First tip, never take the lowest or highest deck available. I'm going to show you why. Let's take this room, 6554, for example, on the lowest deck where they have rooms. Looks good, right? But remember the rule, cabins all around you, in front, beside, up, and down. So let's go to cruisedeckplans.com and we're going to look at the 6th deck. There's the room, 6554. Now, if we click deck 7, we can see there's a cabin above. Nice. Now, what's below on deck 5? Bingo. Chops Grill, Chef's Table, and the Schooner Bar. So, imagine if you rented an apartment over a schooner bar. Yeah. Same thing for the highest deck. Let's go back to the Royal Caribbean site to see what's available. On this ship, that is deck 13. I know that's unusual, but on this ship they got one. Plenty of cabins available. So let's take a look at room 13624 here. Now what's immediately above that? We're going to go back to cruisedeckplans.com and let's see where the room is on the 13th deck. Okay, there's the room by this main staircase and elevator bank area. And immediately above it is Splashaway Bay and the main outside pool deck. Just imagine the noise above you on that one. That is why you never take the highest or the lowest deck where rooms are available. My recommendation is to take the second lowest or highest. The main reason for that is the ease of getting where you want to go. When you're not in your cabin on the ship, then you're almost always heading to the top of the ship where the pools are and the deck chairs and the outside space and the buffet. Or you're heading to the bottom of the ship to get to the main dining rooms, the theater, the late night pizza snack, yes, or get your coffee early in the morning. So in case the elevators are busy or you just want to take the stairs, it's only going to hit you for 2 or 3 flights. If you were to take deck 8 or 9, then you're always going to be 5 or 6 flights of stairs away from whatever you want to go to, and that can get old fast. So now we're getting down to it. On this ship, either deck 7 or deck 12 are ideal. So let's try deck 7 so we're lower and we have less movement. Back to Royal Caribbean's website, let's see what they've got available for rooms on deck 7. Plenty of rooms here, and in the middle we've got lots of choice. But remember the rule is to surround yourself with cabins, up, down, and across from you. Here on deck 7, in the middle, there's this empty space across all the rooms. Now at first you might think, great, no neighbors across from me. However, in reality, that might be a big service corridor, which means that there could be a door right across from you where all through the night, cleaning crew, maintenance, anyone can be coming and going, opening and closing the door over and over. It's a risk. I've heard some nightmare stories. So let's try the other option and we'll go up instead, deck 12. Now we're talking rooms right in the middle where you know you have cabins above, below, and across from you right here. And if you look at the back of the ship, there's even 2 aft view cabins available, which is a great find. Some people consider the aft balconies to have the best views on the ship. But for now, let's just imagine we didn't find that and finish off with the middle balconies. Let's pick room 12218 here on the left side or port side of the ship, 12218. If we go to cruisedeckplans.com and find it, sometimes you can find other people have done videos of the rooms along the same area, so you can actually get a sneak peek of it by watching a video. Feel free to go ahead and do that if you want. It's a pretty good idea. Now here's the final thing that I look for. I find the location of the room roughly. So in this case, just above the bulge out of the middle of the ship here, immediately above that is a big double balcony where there's a large suite, and then it's 4 regular balconies further up beyond that big suite. Now here's where I will load up that image of the outside of the ship I mentioned, and I will zoom in on the bulge out area higher in the ship. Now we already know this deck up here immediately below the pool deck is deck 13. So our deck 12 right below it. Now here's the bulge out area. Here's the suite balcony, then 4 further is room 12218. So now, the reason I do this extra step is right here. Sometimes on ships, the upper decks spread out further than the lower levels, and they have to be braced by these big angled beams. I ran into that in one of my cabins early on in a cruise, and I hated the beams. Because if you want to look out your balcony, you want to stare down the front of the ship or along the back of the ship, the beams just are stuck out of there. I may be being really, really picky here, but that bothered me. I want wide open views outside of my balcony. So if that doesn't bother you, then that's fine. It's a great room. If it might bother you, just be aware of it. That's why that's an extra step that I like to take. So in my opinion, what I would do is I'd either take the same room one deck below that and deal with one extra flight of stairs, or you take your lucky break and book that aft cabin on the 12th deck. That's probably what I would do in this case. There you go. Those are my tips on how you can select the perfect cabin on your cruise. I hope it helps. Happy cruising!